Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Standards Institute. It's so nice to see you all today. All right, we have a few getting started activities that we need to make sure that we have covered before we get started. So you have your paddles in front of you. You have a green paddle and a red paddle. If you are ready and you have done this task when I call it out, please hold up your green paddle. If you have not completed the task and you desire a little bit more time, then hold up your red paddle and that will let me know that you are not quite ready to go. Once we have finished getting through our getting started pre-agenda, we will dig right in to our objective and our topic for today. Are we good? All right, have you set up your name tags? Yes, I see green paddles. Were you able to complete the keynote debrief? Yes, again, we're doing good. Were you able to download the Standards Institute app? Because this is going to be handy today. All right, way to go. And what about the Math or ELA Standards app? Have you downloaded that to your phone? All right, I'm going to come around and check. I'm just kidding. All right, and have you had a chance to settle in and introduce yourself to your table friends? Yes, all green paddles, so I think that we are ready to go. All right, our agenda for the day. If you take a look over here at our poster, I have posted the agenda. So we're going to talk a little bit about the context and give you a little bit of background knowledge about UnboundEd and help you understand the 4 pillars, okay, and the concept of the approach. Then we're going to talk about structural racism in our schools. We're going to talk about equity and the GLEAM hypothesis. And so this is at the core of Unbound Education. We'll talk more about GLEAM before today's session is over. You will know exactly what GLEAM stands for, and you have a much stronger understanding. We'll talk about the sphere of influence, and that involves you, because we all work within a sphere of influence, right? We have this space around us and these opportunities to create change in education. And then you're going to get a break from lunch, and then you'll have an afternoon session, which is likely to be with a different facilitator. We also have our parking lot over here. There's sticky notes on your table. If there are any lingering questions or thoughts, or if you'd like to have a one-on-one conversation at the end, you can simply post that on the sticky note and put it on the parking lot, and I will follow up with you at the end of the session before we leave today. All right, give me green paddles if everyone is good with the agenda. All right, thank you so much. All right, so if you take a look at the screen, you will see our objective, okay? Our objective, okay? So for today's session, we're going to identify how educators can use the GLEAM instruction hypothesis to disrupt and dismantle beliefs, practices, biases that were often instilled in us as a child subconsciously. We often don't realize it, okay? But when we think about it and focus on it and bring it to the forefront of the work that we do, then we are able to affect the children that we serve. And specifically, we want to keep in mind those children of color, okay? Where a lot of stereotypes and ideas that they cannot achieve at the same high level of other students of different races and color, we're going to break that down, okay? And we're going to make sure that we as educators are bringing the most rigorous education we can to our students that we serve, in particular, again, those students of color. All right, so before we get started, I do want to tell you a little bit about myself as your facilitator. I do know a lot about myself, but sometimes I said, let me take a few notes to make sure I capture the highlights, right? So I am currently an assistant principal in Baltimore City Schools. I have been an educator for over 20 years, as well as a teacher trainer for American Federation of Teachers. I've taught every grade level between pre-K and 8th grade. I'm a mom of 4. I have children that range in age from 27 to 13. And I'm also a business owner and entrepreneur. So I do have a lot of irons in the fire. I enjoy all my hats that I wear. But today I'm coming to you as a seasoned educator and administrator. So it's a pleasure to be here with you today. So we already went over our agenda, but let's take just a second to to go over our norms. Now, I know you heard me mention that we're going to be talking about racism and some of our perceptions or biases that we have that we may not even realize that we have from childhood. And that can be a sensitive topic, right? It can elicit a lot of feelings and different things. So we have to norm ourselves and know that it's okay for our views to differ from others that are in the room with us. It's okay to leave feeling like I need to discuss this further. It's okay for us to lean into your discomfort, and that is definitely what I'm asking you to do today, because it is a sensitive topic that we don't always talk about in education. So sometimes we do feel a little reserved when it comes to discussing these topics. So, our norms. Take responsibility for yourself as a learner. Honor the time frame. So we have a timekeeper who's going to make sure that we do not exceed our time. We're going to be active listeners and hands-on learners. We'll use our technology as we're doing now to enhance our learning. And we're going to strive for equity and voice, which means I want to hear from all of you. We're going to contribute to a learning environment and in which it's safe not to know. Remember I said when we leave this discussion, we might feel like, oh, it need to be a part 2 of this. I wasn't done. I have more things that I want to say or more things that I want to share or even know. And it's okay for us not to have all the answers. And then I want us to be able to identify and reframe the deficit thinking and speaking idea, which is that idea that children of color or children from a certain maybe socio-economic status are not able to achieve at those same levels of their non-colored counterparts. So, UnboundEd, what is it? Okay, it's an organization, okay, which envisions a world of educators, okay, that focus on equity, standards, curriculum, and content, okay? UnboundEd envisions a world where we teach educators to put children of color at the center of the work, okay? So we're going to work together, hopefully, to help dismantle some of these beliefs and some of these practices that have gone on for years systemically, where we have not challenged our children or provided instruction at the appropriate level of rigor. And by that I mean, we're not going to be dumbing it down. We're not going to say, oh, they can't do that, so I'm going to give them something a little easier. No, no, no.